Hi there, today's super groovy delicious bite is Synchronicity by the Police. Yes, classic. The Police went on hiatus after Ghost in the Machine, with Sting starring in Brimstone and Treacle and Andy Summers recording an album with Robert Fripp called I Advanced Masked, and Stuart Copeland doing the soundtrack for Rumblefish. And during that time, also, Sting was separated from his first wife and went to spend some time in Jamaica, where he wrote a lot of the songs for Synchronicity while staying at the former home of Ian Fleming, who wrote all the James Bond novels. So Sting was in a dark place when he wrote the songs for this album, and there is a certain kind of dark and sinister theme to the whole album. It's a lot of threads are drawn through the album, connecting it with mystical coincidence and unexplained phenomena. Some of the ideas that Carl Jung had dealt with in some of his writings, and it was Carl Jung who came up with the idea of synchronicity that gives the album its title. The idea of connecting principle that ties things together in ways that are not explainable. And so, while they were recording the album, there was a lot of tension between the band members, and Sting had all these songs, and he did not want any suggestions on how to record them, so there was this tension. He was kind of controlling over the direction of the album. They recorded the album at a studio in Montserrat that had been built by George Martin, the producer for the Beatles. And the place where they recorded the drums was in the kitchen of a house that was adjacent to the main studio. And they had run cables from the kitchen, and so Stuart Copeland would play the drums, and that was where they could get a really good drum sound, but he would see a video monitor, and he could talk to the people if they would hit the intercom button, but he could just see them talking. He said it was kind of a weird kind of thing going on. There was definitely a lot of tension. The band would get into actual fist fights sometimes, and the producer, Hugh Padgham, tried and smooth things over with them. They were telling him to keep out of it. So a lot of this tension kind of built a creative fire inside the band, and it worked to their advantage as far as making a great album, but the band became apparent to the band that they couldn't work well together, at least while they were recording. When they went on tour for the album, they had more fun, and the album became a monster hit. It went to number one on the charts in the U.S. and the U.K. It was nominated for Album of the Year and had several hit singles, the most prominent being Every Breath You Take, which became one of the biggest hit singles of all time. In fact, it is the biggest hit single by a trio in U.S. music history, so that's pretty cool. So the Police had their greatest success, and they went out on top with the album Synchronicity, and so many great songs, such a cool album. Synchronicity by the Police. Check it out.